Yeah, like I think the series as a whole, even before this game, like, it was just all 4 games going to 5 days. This one again, and yeah, it's been toe to toe pretty much for 25 days. 2 teams, 2 very good teams who have thrown everything at each other, left nothing out there. So I guess from a cricket fan's point of view, you sort of go 2-2 is probably fair. Obviously, we're disappointed now to have not got the result that we wanted to give us the series win. So there's obviously that disappointment, a little bit of frustration there as well from everyone. But yeah, I think as a massive advocate of this format and Test cricket as a whole, this has certainly been one of those series that can hopefully keep that narrative around Test cricket is dying. And yeah, disappointed from obviously a playing point of view, but as a advocate of the game, the series has been fantastic to be part of.
And with Root and Brook batting yesterday, do you think you were going to get over the line? And what did you make of the nature of Brook's dismissal?
Yeah, look, obviously 380 is obviously a very large total to try and chase down. But as the game got deeper and deeper, the way that the wicket was playing completely changed from days 1 and days 2. So we knew that if any of our lads were to get in, then that was going to give us a good chance. Harry got us into that position by playing in a particular way, putting the Indian bowlers under immense pressure to take them away from being able to consistently bowl the areas that they wanted to bowl. I'm sure everyone was applauding him when he brought up his 100 in the way that he did. Some of the shots he played were unbelievable. So yeah, the dismissal and the way that he got out was a shot that we've seen a lot of him do in that innings, which I'm sure was getting a lot of praise. So yeah.
Do you feel a stronger team off the back of this series as you look ahead to the Ashes? Have there been key lessons learned across this series in your point of view?
No, I think we were in a nice strong place coming into the series. I think from a team point of view, and certainly as an individual point of view, some guys will leave the series found out a lot more about themselves. In particular this game, with Chris Stokes going down early on, that unfortunate shoulder injury, then the responsibility and that fell on Gus, Tungi and Jamie's shoulders. Not only that, but obviously the roles completely changed by then as to why they were selected and the impact that we thought they would have on the game. They had to dig deep, in particular in our second innings of bowling. So look, I think there's a couple of guys who've left the series when they've been given the opportunities that they found out a lot more about themselves in a very, very positive way. And
on Chris Stokes, you mentioned his bravery. A word on that, and also his chances of getting fit again in time for the wins from the Ashes.
Yeah, unbelievable, but it was never going to be a question. I think for him to go out there, obviously he's in a lot of discomfort in running between the wickets there, but we've had guys go out, Rishabh going out and batting with a broken foot, we've had Bash going out there bowling and batting and fielding with a broken finger, and then we've had Chris go out there today and try and get his team over the line with a quite recently dislocated shoulder. So again, that just goes back to how much energy and effort has been put into the series by both teams. Everyone's left a lot out on the grounds for their country this series, definitely.
And his chances of the Ashes, sorry?
I think he's still be waiting to see a specialist. Obviously, you don't get that chance when a game's going on, so that won't be known to play.
Rory, go ahead.
Obviously, you've said a few times this summer it's been eyes on this series this summer, not the Ashes. Do you think with the rivalry that has emerged between these two groups of players and some of the moments we've seen, is England India as big as the Ashes now, and going forward, do you think that it'll be seen that way?
I think it's always been a very big rivalry, India England. It obviously just doesn't have that Ashes attachment to it. no, this series has always been big. I don't think that will change.
And just how have you, I know you've had a few matches last year, same, but how have you felt this week seeing such a nerve-wracking game and sort of having to sit up there and watch rather than do your thing and get involved?
Yeah, watching when you can't participate or do anything about it is obviously a lot different. You know, you sit there and you're always in the back of your mind, you go, I wonder if I could have done anything, but you know, I obviously can't because I wasn't out there. So yeah, it's obviously a different point of view, different perspective from not being able to be out there. Yeah, I thought the lads, you know, not only that, but Wokes' injury as well, the way that they had to, you know, adapt to that, you know, situation, which happened in what, I don't know, half a second for a shoulder to pop out, everything just completely changed for us there. So the way that they reacted and bounced back to that, I thought was outstanding.
Will and I will go Reds Sports Series. Go ahead, Will.
Ben, given how much needs to change in your team when you sit out, are you worried that your team are too reliant on you, if you know what I mean? Especially given the heights you managed to get back to with the ball this summer?
No.
Okay, and do you have any reflections on Jacob this summer and how kind of he just came into this game quite late, having not played much cricket? Do you wish you'd been able to get a bit more cricket into him, give him more chance to be kind of up to speed straight away?
Well, I think it's an easy thing to say on reflection, and you know, we don't live in a perfect world where everything falls into place. You know, he's been a member of our squad for this whole series, and you know, I didn't know I was going to get injured, so what are you going to do?
Then you yourself has produced some intense and relentless moments with the ball on the field. A word on Mohammad Siraj, because played all the 5 tests, bowled more than 180 overs. A word as an opposition captain or as an opposition, a word on Siraj and what it takes to do what he has done in this series.
I've always had great respect and admiration for Mohammad Siraj as a competitor. Yeah, like he just keeps coming and coming and coming. You know that he's always going to be in the fight with you. But yeah, again, just another example of what it means. And yeah, this game in particular, like, just kept going and going and going, and like, yeah, just oppositions and all that kind of stuff. I've always had a lot of admiration and respect for the way that Mohammad Siraj goes about his cricket and what he does and how he takes it on. So yeah, like, fair play to him.
So I'll have to go Stefan and then Mel. Go ahead, Stefan.
Do you know any further what you'll be doing over the next few weeks? Is it literally just doing nothing to get that shoulder fixed, or is there anything specific you have to do to get right for Perth?
You'll see me knocking about the 100, not in a playing way. I obviously had to make a decision back in January if I was going to participate in the comp, but I had to make that like 3 days after my hamstring surgery when I was starting to brace on my soldiers, so I was like, I'm probably not going to play. But yeah, I said I'd still like to somehow be a part of it, and so yeah, I'll be milling about a bit there. I won't have a notebook or pen like some other people might, but yeah, I said that I would come and give my time to the team then, so I'll be cracking up my rehab and milling about there.
Is that just like supportive role for the Superchargers for Andrew Flintoff and Harry?
Yeah, pretty much.
And during your last period of rehab at the start of the year, I think you were able to sort of go away and give quite a lot of thought to the way you wanted the team to go this summer, and you've always said to us that you're just looking at this series, you'll wonder about the Ashes later. Now the Ashes is your next test match. In this period, how much thought will you be given to that, and how easy is it to keep out the outside noise that might be coming from down on you?
Yeah, we've got some lads of the members of this team who've got some other responsibilities to fulfil with the 100 coming up and a couple of one-day series we've got before that. For me, obviously, I don't have to concentrate on that. So yeah, look, we've got, November, I think, or something like that, we fly out there. So got a lot of time between now and then to build on all the kind of stuff that we've been speaking about before the series started.
One each going forward will go Mel, Chris and Mike. Go ahead.
If I've got one, I'm going to sneak into as I ask it then. Thank you. First of all, I just wanted to ask, was there any specific conversation or word said between you and Chris Wokes before or after he went out? And the other part is, would you like to see Jacob Bethel batting at number 3 for Warwickshire in the games, bearing in mind the white balls stuff that's coming, but in the championship games?
Before Wiz went out, I was in the dressing room, so I didn't get a chance to give him a tap on the back and say go well. But I think, obviously coming off there, it's pretty obvious what would have been said to him there. Just great effort, like unbelievable. He just shrugged his shoulder and was like, I don't want to do anything else. What was it?
About Jacob Bethel, would you like to be back at number 3 for Warwickshire in the championship?
It would be good to see best playing for Warwickshire.
Chris Light, one each. Dave at the back. And the rest.
And as disappointed you are not to go over the line today, I guess you must be immensely proud of the players for getting back into this test against all the odds. Just wondered how you felt the character shown by the team this week will stand you in good stead for Australia. How do you see that?
Going back to the Wokes injury, I know that it looks like, we're only bowled down, but when you look into it deeper, the role of, in particular Tony and Jamie changed from that point onwards. The way in which, they would have been used changed, but they took that responsibility on without adding pressure to themselves. I think they did that in a way of, probably pride actually, that one of the boys has gone down and we're going to have to take up that workload, which I think some people would probably shy away from that and be a bit worried about what that means for them. But obviously with how that wicket played, it was evident from both teams how much team was bowled that was going to be the threat. The workload that those guys had to go through to make up for the unfortunate injury to Wokesy, I thought they did an exceptional job. Showed a lot of courage, showed a lot of heart, and just kept coming in. They can be incredibly proud of the way that they threw themselves into that, in particular when the fact that quite a lot of change for the roles that they've selected for.
Ben, as an attack, you were detained in the field for more than 1,000 overs over the series. Are you confident you'll have just a little bit more cutting edge in the Ashes? Because it's great credit to you that the bowlers kept running in, as you say, but 1,000 overs is a lot of work.
Good teams bowl.
Better teams bowl a bit less, don't they?
Well, okay.
Can I just ask about 6 drop catches in the match, or in one innings, in fact? Ultimately, was that perhaps the most costly factor over the 5 days when you look at the ebb and flow?
Yeah, I think you can always look back on, 6 chances is obviously a lot, and if we do take those, maybe we're chasing, probably would be chasing something smaller than that. But yeah, you can go over so many moments in a 5-day test match and all the times they spent out in the field and say if this had been slightly different, we could have been in a slightly different situation sat here talking to you guys. No one means to drop catches obviously, but I think if we look back on that, you can say that those chances that we did put down did cost us. But back to Henley, when we chased down those runs, India dropped quite a few chances of us, and that probably contributed towards us winning. Maybe if we did hold on to those chances, things could have been a little bit different. But no one means to drop catches. Drop catches is part of the game.
Ben, for the sort of more casual cricket watcher who are glued to the action today, they'll be thinking, why on earth is this bloke coming out to bat with one arm? I know you're opposed to substitutes, but can you put the argument against it? Is it just about the fact that you think it will be abused? Or?
Yeah, I just don't see it being a thing. Like, sorry about this, but someone gets in, you push it, deal with it. That's how we view it. I could have. I mean, I was saying I could have got into this game, knowing I had a sore shoulder, and gone, I'll give it a go. Hopefully, I'll come through. But if I don't, I've got someone else who can come in and replace me. You select 11, and it's actually tactical. So I feel like that there is that room where you could actually manipulate it a bit. The injury that I did have ruled me out of this game. But maybe if we did have that option in a pretty big game in a series, I could have gone, nah, this is worth it. But if I do go down even worse, then at least I know I've got someone else to come in. Part of that was I can't risk doing this because long term, but also if I go down in this game, then that completely ruins the whole makeup of the team. So I'm still heavily against it. Just sod's law that this had to happen the week after I said it, wouldn't it? But my view has not changed.
Last one here to finish.
When we watch sport or cover sport, and in your case you play sport, we tend to think that we watch the best of it. This is perhaps the best that we've seen, and then sport tells us that there is a lesson bigger than that, and that's why it's real, not real. Where will you rate this particular series in everything that you've played, seen? And because in our case we would rate it at the very top. Where would you rate it as the leader of your team?
It's been a pretty special one to be a part of. It's been full of ups and downs, ebbs and flows throughout every game. India have been in control, we've been in control, then it's come back to them, then it's come back to us. So you have to be a part of it and be able to experience 5 games like this has been pretty special. We had a similar situation here in 23 with the Ashes, where we had to come here and win the game, and that again was another special series to be a part of. That was 2-2, this was 2-2, so it's been awesome to be a part of. See, there is still that disappointment, but for the game, for the wider game, obviously we want to constantly be promoting the game. The series has been great for that. Thanks guys. Cheers.
क्रिकेट की हर बड़ी खबर, हर बड़े अपडेट और लाइव डिस्कशन के लिए जुड़िए मेरे साथ सिर्फ इंडिया टीवी क्रिकेट यूट्यूब चैनल पर।